Hello, we're going to work today on something a little different. Rather than continuing on Google Docs or Google Sheets, we're going to move on to Google Slides to see how we can put together a presentation graphics. In other words, in our particular case, a set of slides that you could show in a presentation. We're going to start out, as always, by going to the Google Apps button. In my case, you'll see Google Slides right here. You may not find it there, and if that's the case, what you may have to do would be to hit the More button, and then it would show up. As always, we'll see a way of starting a presentation, and what we're going to do now is click on blank. Now, when it opens on blank, you'll see that you have something that looks a great deal like what we've seen with Google Docs and Google Sheets. The thing is, though, that you'll see that the exact icons here are a little different. I'm not going to choose any particular theme right now. What I am going to do is come over here, and what I'm going to put in is Introduction to Computers and their applications. And that's going to be part of the cover slide. And down here for the subtitle, what I'm going to do, your name goes here. And obviously, you're not going to type your name goes here. What you are going to type, however, is your name. Now, this point, I run into the first case where I need to add another slide. And it's the plus button over here that does it. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to type computers today, and I need to center it, and what I'm going to do is come all the way over here. In this case, I'll find it over here. If by any chance, since Google will adapt and move around some of the icons depending on what you've used most recently, what I would advise that if you don't see the align on the first row, if you come over here to the ellipsis, the three dots, you can click here and it'll show other formats along the way that may be available to you. Now, I'm going to undo that, and there you can see I have what I did before. Computers today. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go over there to center it. We're going to be centering our headings. Now, you'll notice this time I'm not going to pre-enter all of our text, because there really is not a great deal of text here. A part of everyday life. Now, what's missing is something very, very basic. I really, really want to have bulleted points. You'll notice that over here, the word everyday has a little squiggly red line underneath it, and that means that my typing is abysmal and I misspelled it very badly. In this case, I have an extra D. I'm going to right-click, and when I right-click, it'll ask, do you mean every day? And the answer, of course, is yes. I'm going to go for more, and in this case, what I want are bulleted points, and that's what I get. I'm now going to type in ATMs, the internet, monitoring your car's engine, and below it, computer applications make your life easier at home and at work. Now, at this point, if you take a look at the version of it that I'm going to include on the assignment so you know what it is that you're typing, we're going to, these are all supposed to be subtopics. So what I can do is come over here, and you'll see here for increasing indent and decreasing it, clearly we want to increase the indent. Now I'm going to come over here, back down here, I'm going to go to the next line, and again I want to go indent, and I'll hit the tab, and that is an easy way of increasing the indent if I don't want to start going to buttons. Oops, word processing, graphics, telecommunications. Now, again, it's clear I misspell. I can come right over here and I can fix it, or I can simply just do it the way we did before. Now, the next slide is going to be different because here we don't have a bulleted point. One of the things that we will do frequently in presentation graphics is to have slides that have graphics on them in one form or another. So what I'm going to do is first put a heading here, how computers process data. And I'm actually going to come here, and I'm not going to have a text box. So what I'm going to do is hit the, as I highlight it like this, hit the delete key. And when I get click to add text, I hit the delete key, and I don't have that because I'm not going to want that. What I do want, however, are the shapes. And I'm going to go to the one that shows shapes. And what I want in this, and you'll see here also arrows, call-outs of different sorts, equations. We're going to go for shapes, and we're going to go for the one that looks like a circle. We don't really want a circle in this case. What we want is an oval, which means I'm going to make it a little longer than it's wide. And I'm going to want a color. Now, to get a color, I'll go up to the dripping paint bucket, and that's the fill color. And what I'm going to go for is a cyan, which is basically a light turquoise. And I'm going to here right-click, and where it says Edit Text, it'll give me the ability to add text in here. And what I'm going to add is simply the word input. I want to center this within the box, and the same align button as before can do that. Now I'm going to want another shape, and this time what I want is a box. I'm going to put it here, and you'll notice by default, again, I'm going to get it in the same shade of color, cyan. I'll click over, I will right click here, right clicking, and I get edit text, and what I'm going to put in here is CPU. Again, it's giving me left align. I want center, so I come up to the align button, drop it down, and I center it. Now, I can also do something else. I don't need to draw another oval for output. So what I can do, I could draw one if I choose to, but I can right-click, copy, and I can come over here, right-click, and paste. And now it's a matter of dragging it over. Now, this will let me line the two of them up, and maybe I should move this one over just a little bit. I'm going to come over here inside the duplicated oval. I'm going to backspace and get rid of IN and replace it with OUT. So I have input and output. Now I'm going to go to select line, and what I want is an arrow. Unlike the arrows that we had here on the shape button, these are simply going to be lines with an arrowhead, and that's what I want. And I'm going to, again, click over there, and I can do it here as well. I need one remaining box, which is going to be for memory. And because I don't necessarily want it to be exactly the same size as what I had for CPU, I'm going to put it here. This time, it looks like I will need to add a fill color. And again, I'll pick cyan. That's on the second row in the middle of it. And if you hover over any of the colors, it'll give you their name. We want cyan. I now come over here and right Click. And now I can edit text, and what I'm going to say simply is memory, and I will write, I will center the alignment. I want an arrow. I want one going up. I want one that comes down. Now, as I was trying this out, I changed the color to make my arrows black. If what you're getting are blue arrows, what you can do is simply click on the line, and there should be under format, not format options, not what we want here. But there should be other options along the way. We don't want to add comments. But what I'm going to do is I'll come here, Format, Borders and Lines, Line Color, and I can make the lines black. And I can do it for this one. I'll click it. Now, if I hold down the Shift key, I'm sorry, not the Shift key, if I hold down the Control key, I can now click and now the change that I make to the line color will apply to all of them. Now again, I want my heading centered, so I'll come over here and I'll get it. I have 2 more slides to add. We're a lot closer to finishing this than beginning it. Now the next one's going to be, again, more text. Why you should study computer science, and you'll pardon me for advertising for my department. I'm going to come over, and again, I'm going to go to the Align button and center it. I'm going to come in here, Neat Wardrobe. When I go to now again, you'll notice that what's missing is I don't have the bulleting. So what I'll do is I'll come up here to the Format button. If I don't see it, it'll be on the menu. And I want a bulleted list. I don't want numbering. And I can choose the one that I want. I have to choose the one that I want. And now I go to the next line, and I'm going to tab in. That's another way I can use the Increase Indent button or the item on the Format menu, but I can also just tab in. Pocket protectors never go out of style, and many of you are thinking that's because they were never in style, but bear with me. Tape on eyeglasses looks cool. Nerds always impress girls. Now I'm going to, rather than tab, since I want to go back, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and then I'll press tab, and it'll take me in the opposite direction. Good jobs. I'll tab in. Demand for programmers and other computer professionals outpaces each year's graduating class. Again, since I'm going to go back for a main bulleted point, Shift and Tab. High pay, and tab for the last thing. They out-earn professors, and that hurts a little bit. We're ready for the last slide. We're going to click the button, the plus button, and what we're going to do is put in the heading, title Computers Are Fun. And again, I'm going to center it. I'm going to come here and insert image, and we're going to search the web. We're going to come over here, and what we're looking for is a computer picture. And the one over here, showing a drawing of a computer system, is the one I'm going to choose. If for any reason you don't have it, I will accept one or more of the other drawings, but you should be able to find this without a problem. And then insert. And there we see the image. Now the image is good, but it's a little too large. So after shrinking it down, I'm going to drag it with my mouse over here. I'm going to come back to the background and I'm going to delete the text box because I don't want that. Now at this point, I'm going to rename it Computers. And it'll be saved on my Google Drive. I'm going to also download it as a PDF by that name. And I will save that in my own directory on my computer. Now, that pretty much is all that you have to do. After you create and save the PDF, you'll upload it to submit the assignment. And that's it for today on this.